Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana video. Today we have an interesting topic. Hot off the press, we have a potential new first edition or first iteration prototype of Disney Lorcana called Disney Famous. So we'll go through some details. I'll share my thoughts. As always, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think it's real? Do you want to chase them? Etc. etc. So to start, Kawatech_CG on Twitter says earliest playtest cards from Disney Lorcana. Apparently, the game was originally called Disney Famous. This is according to a post from a Lorcana Misprints, Oddities, and Errors group on Facebook. More info on the image. So we'll look through the images here in a second. Some additional details first. Here's a look at how some of the earliest playtest cards. Here's a look at some of the earliest playtest cards. What I know. Yes, these are real, according to Frank Mark. This is set 1. The game was called Famous prior to Lorcana. There are cards in this batch that got moved to other sets or that never made it to the game. Every card has text changes. This is the only Famous set I've seen, and there hasn't been an effort made to grade them yet. So that is what Frank Mark has provided us with. Now, I have applied to this group. I've not been accepted yet, so I don't have any additional details in terms of the comments on this particular post. I did see that Quest with Cole said that these have been verified. I asked by who, and I haven't gotten a response yet. So, as far as what I know, I have looked at Twitter, I have looked at Reddit, I've looked at YouTube. I've tried to do any sort of insight accumulation that I can, and I cannot find a peep about this stuff. So that to me, presents itself as like a little bit of a red flag that I can't find anything. Obviously, if it's only Frank Mark that is saying this, then the likelihood that these are real or that they have any real credibility is very, very low. Now, as someone from the Ravensburger team or Steve Warner, Ryan Miller comment on this, and they established that yes, this was our working game before we changed and finished on Lorcana and whatnot, then at that point these cards are going to have some provenance. I equate them to the same level as kind of like what the demo decks were. If you're not familiar, there were demo decks for Lorcana that the Ravensburger team went to various different expos around the world and had Disney Lorcana for people to play, to try it out, just play test, give their thoughts, what did they like, what did they not like, etc., and just kind of begin to take Lorcana to market. And in those decks, the cards on the back, they all had a demo stamp on them. They were supposed to be destroyed. One or two particular decks made it to the market, and you'll see them on auction pretty much every day. It's not something I have bid on them before. It's not something that I'm chasing in any sense of the word. They're just kind of like commons, uncommons. There's some rares. Nothing significant, nothing crazy, nothing really worth chasing, to be honest. But they do have the prominence of kind of being some of the first cards within Lorcana. So those are the demo cards. Now, when we look at these cards and at this game, Disney Famous, obviously you'll notice everything's different about the cards. The back kind of design is different. The logo is different. The name is different. The text is different. Colors are different. Pretty much everything is different from from Disney Famous to Disney Lorcana. Now, obviously, some similarities would be they have a Rapunzel, healer / gifted with healing card. Obviously, the stats are a little bit different. Rapunzel is a 1/5 in the main game in terms of Lorcana, and they mentioned that the text, kind of the variations and what the details of certain abilities change on any particular card. You'll notice on this that it has a date of 6/8/2021, so June 8th of 2021, which is interesting. It says set 1 on here as well. We kind of have our lore counters here. It's interesting that this one doesn't have a rarity emblem at the bottom, but when we look at this page full of Ruby cards, we see a lot of obviously emblems, a lot of Ruby cards. You'll see Maui here was a 6/4 in this iteration of the game. The cards, the art looks very, very bad. Looks like something like my kid would do on like Microsoft Paint. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. The designs of the cards look very bad. The strength and the willpower indicators look bad. These cards do not they look terrible. And if they would have came to market with this game, it would have flopped. These they look bad. So that's another thing. I can't verify it. I can't find anyone that will put any sort of provenance towards these cards. The cards look terrible. This is on the back of, if you're not familiar, Pokemon just had a massive scandal that is still currently ongoing of cards that were stated to be prototypes and some of the first cards ever made for Pokemon. Someone, essentially forged them. They printed them last year in 2024, sent them to CGC. CGC authenticated them, and then they were selling, some of the higher end cards were selling for anywhere between $70,000 to $100,000 confirmed sales. And they were fake. They were printed last year. And so there's, this is not anything new. There's a lot of, when there's money to be made, there's a lot of, Team Rocket out there doing bad things. I don't know if this is the case for these cards or not, but it just kind of gives me those kind of vibes. So the long and the short of it for me, in my opinion right now, I think that the art looks very bad. I think that the dates are pretty alarming in terms of the 6/8/2021. When you look at 2022, they already had the collector's box printed and out on the market. They had the demo decks out being tested at these conventions, and this is halfway through 2021. It's a completely different game, completely different mechanics, like all sorts of stuff was like a lot very different to where it ended with the finished product in terms of artwork, design, name, everything is different. So I just I would be surprised if they did all that in such a short amount of time. No, they definitely could, right? I'm not saying that the 6/8/2021 date proves undeniably that these cards are fake, but that's a quick turnaround, right, to change all that stuff. So I maintain that until we get further details, I will not be participating on if these do go to auction, right? Obviously, this is how these always start. So this person says there hasn't been an effort made to grade them yet. This is the only set I've seen. These are real. This is set one, right? There's this person has a lot to say about the provenance of the cards, but we need someone to back it up, because right now this just looks like arts and crafts and a binder and someone's trying to build some hype around it. So we need some additional details, more to come. Obviously, once I get accepted into that group, if I'm able to get some additional details, I will share those with you guys. But I thought it was at least worth talking about. Have you guys heard of these? Have you guys seen something that I haven't? Is this a confirmed iteration of Lorcana? And would you be interested if it is? So please give me your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. Quick video today, but something worth talking about. So thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.